Welcome to my channel, The Kingly Way. My name is King, and today's title is my review of the movie Can This Be Love? And before I get into the review, please hit the like, subscribe, and the bell icon for future videos. Now, let's get to this. The movie Can This Be Love? And the reason I decided to do a little review about this movie is with the situation dealing with hashtag cancel Korea, hashtag sorry to Filipinos. I thought I would do a little movie review featuring two actors. And these two actors, one is from South Korea and one is from the Philippines. Now I'm going to start with the pretty ladies first. And the one from South Korea, she is from Busan, South Korea. Her name is Sandara Park. Yes, from the group 21. You know, if you ever heard that song, I don't care. So, yes, and Sandara Park made her career in the Philippines. And now the Filipino actor, and excuse me if I butcher this pronunciation, I'll do my best, K.A.E, and he is from Pasig, Metro Manila, and both of these actors were in a contest or reality show called Star Circle on the GMA network, the famous network in the Philippines. And the way the contest went is K.A.E finished first and Sandara Park finished second. So after that, they were now known as the Love Team. Yes, so both of them did a lot of things together. So they were featured in two movies in the Philippines. The first one is Because of You. So that was a little smaller role for them too. But the big one that I want to do review about is Can This Be Love? Now, how did I get to this point about even knowing about this movie? Well, it started back when I was in America. There was a movie called The Debut. So for those that don't know what The Debut is, it is a Filipino-American movie. But they use famous Filipino actors in this movie. For example, Eddie Garcia, and then of course Tirso Cruz, and I probably mispronounced it, so sorry for my Filipino followers, but he was in that movie Can This Be Love? Okay, so let me get to the characters. So the character's name, K.A.E, Angeles, is Ryan. He is a student and he has a part-time job rewriting and typing papers for students. And Sandara Park, her name is Daisy, and she is in the Philippines learning and studying English. So, in the movie, how do they meet? Well, before they end up meeting, there was a bulletin board about a phone for sale. So any of those know those old Nokia phones? Remember, this was a 2005 movie. Well, Ryan saw the advertisement on the wall and took down the number and then messaged, the person, which was Daisy's, Sandara's role. So Ryan message, and all of a sudden he wanted to buy the phone because Daisy Sandara Park was selling her phone. But before they met, they were just actually messaging back and forth. It's hard to get close that way, like yeah, how is life, how is school, what do you do? And they knew each other's names. Now here's the crazy part. So Sandara, or Daisy, she needed help getting her paper rewritten. So she sent it into the same place where Ryan was working. So Ryan took her paper, and he did not know she's the other person on the text messages. He ended up revising the whole paper, rewriting it in his version because he didn't like the way she wrote it. I think the way she wrote it could have been like offensive to like Filipinos or something. So she arrives there, she looks at it, she gets angry, and she's like, no, this is not what I wrote. What do you mean? And then Ryan goes, you had bad grammar, this is terrible how you wrote it, so I had to fix it. Go, this is not what I wanted. So they're just yakking at each other. And then actually the boss is Terso Cruz, the one in the debut. He goes, we will do rewrite. And Ryan's like, hell no, I ain't doing no rewrite, boss. Heck no, excuse me. And he goes, 50% off. She goes, okay. And then she just takes off, but she was supposed to meet to sell the phone. So she dials the number, and then Ryan answers, goes, are you here? And then they turn, and it's like, and they're like, oh my goodness. So, of course, they're both upset at each other, and they make the exchange, and here's your charger. Sandara gives her, Daisy gives her the charger. Like, here's your charger, take it. So, okay, so that's that. So they're just angry at the time. Now, before I get more into it, I'm going to rewind the parts in the beginning of the movie that kind of got me a little puzzled because, I didn't know Koreans used to go to the Philippines to go study English. So there's a part in the scene in the cafeteria where 4 Filipino girls goes, oh no, you Koreans are here again, So I was thinking, okay, does Filipinos think about Koreans this way? So that kind of like hit me. And then I saw Filipina steal a wallet from Daisy's purse in the market. So I was like, okay, is the Philippines not safe? Because, this movie was written and directed by Filipinos. So I was like, what the heck? 2005, is it really safe to go to Philippines? So that kind of like did a number on my head, like, okay, what the heck? So another thing is when her wallet got stolen, there was a Korean guy that helped her out who was her classmate, and he was dating a Filipina. He had a Filipina girlfriend, so he paid for everything, said, I'll cover it. So I was like, okay. So I see Korean men date Filipinas there too. Okay, fine. Whatever. So then going back to Ryan and Daisy, they finally meet up, they get close together, they build a nice bond and a friendship, and they end up dating, and of course they struggle with cultural differences. So throughout the movie they're just dating, talking, dealing with cultural things, having fun too at the same time. Now I'm gonna go sideways here, and later in the movie, because this is kind of like my review with the movie, there was a scene where, the Filipino girl was crying and Daisy knew her and she goes, why are you crying? She goes, your Korean friend broke up with me. So the Korean guy that covered, the market funds when her wallet got stolen, he ended up breaking up with her because her dad threatened him to cut him off financially if he did not break up with that Filipina. So, and this does not surprise me about, the Koreans, societal issues and families, none of this surprised me at all because I kind of knew that already. And the Filipina just snaps at Daisy. She just took it out on Daisy. So she said every bad, rude thing, even about Koreans, she was just angry. So, and I was like, oh my goodness, is this what I'm going to deal with if I ever go to the Philippines? Oh wow, even if it's a movie, but it kind of like, kind of traumatized me a little bit about the Philippines. I'm like, okay. So, of course, Ryan did meet Daisy's father and etc. And of course, I'm not going to tell you how the movie ends. This is where I'm going to have you as the viewers go check out the movie. I don't want to give the spoiler alert unless somebody else wants to give the spoiler alert in the comments. This is fine if you want to throw it in the comments. But yeah, it kind of did a number on me because when I went to the Philippines, one thing, this was in the back of my head because of that movie, is I do not want to be labeled as a native South Korean. I wanted to be labeled as an American going in. And I'm not saying all American guys are, better guys, because they do, all guys do messed up stuff. Doesn't matter where you're from. But from my standpoint, I want to be taken seriously more as an American in the Philippines than a native Korean because of that movie. Can This Be Love kind of traumatized me about Koreans being in the Philippines. And, I'm kept hearing about how many Korean men left 30,000 Filipino kids behind, the reputation is, Korean guys are playboys or something like that. I kind of didn't want to be known for that or have that reputation. So that's why I'm like, nope, I'm American. You speak good English for a Korean. I'm an American. See my blue passport? So, I was kind of, once in a while, I was a little aggressive in the Philippines because I wanted to be taken seriously as an American. I want them to see me as American, and not every white dude are the only Americans, It's like, there's Koreans that are Americans like myself. So, that was probably the little issue I had when I was first visiting the Philippines. Even before I met my girlfriend, when I was dating Filipinas, I was like, I'm an American. I hold the blue passport. So if you possibly end up with me, yes, you can possibly get that blue passport with me if you were to become my wife or something, So that's where it's like, I was like, you don't have any rights to get the Korean one. You ain't gonna get the Korean passport. I don't have a Korean passport. So sometimes I did do that a lot when I was dating. I was convincing, no, American. That's who I am. American guy, speak English. I understand everything. From American culture, I can break down American culture down to a science. So, because of that movie, Can This Be Love kind of did that to me. Now, I'm a little bit better now because, I've been in the Philippines. I don't even care anymore. I don't even sweat it anymore. But I used to sweat it for the first few times I was there in the Philippines because of the things I hear about, things that Korean guys have done in the Philippines. And, I just didn't want to be labeled that way. But, now I'm a little better. I can deal with it much better now. And, I can just, go back to the Philippines. Oh, you're a Korean guy? Yeah, I am technically. But you think good? Yeah, but I'm an American. So I don't have a problem explaining because I understand that, they're not going to know, And that's just not the Philippines. It's pretty much all of Asia. They're like, wait, you look Asian. You're American? You're Australian? You're from the UK? But that's how it is, That's how it really is in going through Asia if you're an Asian Westerner. So I just came to that conclusion I'm just going to just deal with it that way. So that's what it is. But overall, I still go back and watch the movie. I really liked the movie, and I really enjoyed the story of it. I really enjoyed how Angeles played the role, did a pretty good role. I would like a guy like that as a friend, And I love how Sandara Park did it. Of course, I love watching her in 21, with all her jams with CL and, Mitzi and whoever. I always can't remember all four girls. I always know Sandara because of the Philippines, that popped up in my Crunchyroll account. Crunchyroll was, I used to watch, Asian movies through there. I don't know if you still can because I haven't been back on crunchyroll.com yet. So I really overall do recommend check out that movie. can this be love? It's more enlightening than dealing with this hashtag cancel Korea and hashtag sorry to Filipinos. Alright, if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please hit that like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon when I bring out videos again. So wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you again.